I did send out a checklist that had things on it like a bolster, which I have, a couple of blocks. If you have those items, great. If not, no problem. I will give options. And I also asked for paper, a bowl or a shell, maybe even fire. But again, if you don't have any of these items, you will still be able to just be very symbolic with me as I burn mine, light up mine at the end of tonight's practice. If you have the ability and you want to begin just by turning on your camera, peering into the other screens. If you don't have the ability to do that, that is okay. Oh, nice and cozy. Yeah. Hi, Melissa. And if you either would like to unmute or drop in the chat, just how you're doing today, where are you at? You can just see where the collective energy is at today as I go ahead and craft. Feeling stuck, overwhelmed, feeling good and happy.
Well, I just came from your neck of the woods. We were in Duluth, Minnesota over the weekend, and we've been traveling for 2 days to get back to Ohio, and I'm a little bit drained.
Okay. Were you in a car?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Let me just see what else got dropped in the chat. Feeling okay. Good. Nice. Hi, Sarah. Oh my gosh, this is just like so beautiful to see everybody coming together. Typically how I do these moon ritual classes is we just start by seeing each other. We're in this like crazy moment in time where we have the ability to gather in community over a screen. So I like to really acknowledge that there are humans here sharing in this ritual and ceremony together. And then now, right, go ahead, you can shut your camera off if that's what makes you feel most comfortable for the practice. And then you can go ahead and arrive and land in a way that feels good for you. So we'll start with just the teachings. From the teachings, we'll move into the practice. From the practice, we'll move into the meditation. From the meditation, you can either remain in meditation for the duration, or you can awaken, grab your pen, paper, and I'll give you some prompts so that you can really begin to process all that we have conjured up from this practice. This is a yin yoga practice where we will be in each asana for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Really meant to move into the plastic body, out of the muscle body. And so really being gentle, nurturing with your body's edges, knowing that through the length of time that we're in each shape, that's when your body may or may not open up. As you're beginning to really arrive and land in your space, I invite you to do so in a way that feels just so safe, so loving, pleasurable. There's no hurry, there's no rush. We're going to be very nourishing, very intentional with the way that we land in this space. And so this evening is the climax or the peak of the full corn moon, also sometimes called the harvest moon. And so there's this buildup of lunar energy. Maybe you have noticed that whatever is moving through you today, it just feels like heightened or illumined, as if the light of the full moon really illumines that which moves through you. This full moon is so special because it's really the last full moon that we have before the equinox gateway opens. And so as we move very slowly, right, fluidly toward Wednesday, when the fall equinox happens, Wednesday is this day of like perfect balance. Equal hours of day and night. And this particular full harvest corn moon is in the spirit of Pisces, right? And so we're going to really intentionally take from today until the equinox on Wednesday and just bathe in all that we uncover tonight. In order to make ample room for the abundance of harvest, this season that we are in, we must have ample room in our hearts. This means we must allow those emotions which are no longer meant to take refuge in your heart space to rise and fall away with self-compassion and without self-judgment. This Pisces elder moon reminds us that tears are medicine. That our emotions might not always be the whole truth, but that the waters carry messages, memory, and are valid. This moon gives us space to let our heart be seen and heard and held with graciousness. It's a time of heightened intuition, creative visioning through our dreams. And so the goal of our practice this evening is to really connect our emotional tides to the inner shores of your physical vessel. That's how we're going to cultivate stability during this time of release. And so I invite you to just very gradually reawaken, and we will land in our bodies together. Okay. If you're already on your back, you can stay there. If you aren't yet on your back, that is where we will meet. If you had a bolster, you could use your bolster, bringing it to the base of your sacrum to lie down on it. Legs could go long, or you could come to a Supta Baddha Konasana. If you don't have a bolster, I would suggest coming onto your back, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, let the knees fall open. And then if you could, bend the elbows, bring the hands overhead, bringing the thumb and the index finger tips together. And so it would look like your hands like this, overhead. And we're moving into a full body mudra, the triple diamond. As you arrive in whichever shape you're in, gently close the eyes and let your gaze steady down and toward the tip of your nose. And so there's this sensation of dropping in and to your center, down and in almost. In the triple diamond, it's very much a mudra of the water element. There is a receptivity to this full body mudra. As we move into this full corn harvest moon in Pisces, we also embody water. We receive the fluidity of what is already present. What is flowing in our life currently. All that is right. All that we are doing. All that is already occurring. All the love that's present. Take a big, deep inhale, drink in that breath. Feel the chemistry that happens as you inhale. And oxygen moves in your nasal passages into your body, where once it's in your body, hydrogen attaches to the oxygen and makes water. Every breath turning life force into water. And for a moment, release down the river all that is not yet. All that you're gripping, holding, and trying to force. Now bring your drishti or your gaze to your third eye center, right at the center of your brow. Remember that which is beyond all our life circumstances, beyond our happy and sad, our ups and downs, our job or no job, our relationship or no relationship. We remember that which is steady, that which is always available. This practice returns us to this still point. The liquid essence of consciousness.
I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb. I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb. I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb, and I let them go. I let them go. I'm holding these seeds in my womb, in my womb, in my womb. I'm holding
If you need the support of your hands
my womb,
to help lift your knees,
in my womb. I'm
go ahead, let them lift up, stretch it out.
in my womb, in my womb.
Any little counter movement, maybe a long bodied stretch. Circling wrists, ankles, stretching fingers to toes. In any way. And then we'll gradually meet in our child's pose. As you come toward child's pose, you can go knees together or knees wide. If you had a pillow, any sort of support, or you could come all the way to the earth. Maybe a bend of the elbows, stack the hands, make a pillow for the forehead. Anything that allows you to feel really safe, supported, nurtured. Coming to this child's pose or seed shape.
I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb. I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb. I'm holding these keys in my womb, in my womb, in my womb.
As you're embodying this shape of a seed, a little pod of energy, And we're in this midst of this big transition, right, into the next season. And take a moment in your seed shape to reflect on all the seeds that you planted back in the spring, all the ways you nurtured your seeds, and what has grown to life, right? Before we really move into this harvest season of abundance. What seeds did you plant and what seeds grew?
Steady the breath to steady the mind. Keep breathing till I feel that light shine. Breathe deep. Deep breath.
Because as we are receiving, we are also always letting go. And so it's this dynamic of harvesting abundance and sharing with our community.
Everything in life revolves around the one. Sort of like the planets in our solar system. Take a deep breath, fill up my lungs. Draw the mind back toward the central sun. Breathe deep. Deep breath.
And let that inhale pull in.
Inhale, exhale. To release the stress.
Each round of breath, you focus on your inhalation.
Breathe in. I let it seep in through my skin. Absorbed in the force as it begins to spin. My mind turning back toward the one. A 360-degree revolution. Breathe deep. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale. To release the stress. Deep breath.
As you inhale, pulling energy from scattered to centered.
Too much complication over stimulation. We need to ease the stress of the situation. So I focus on my breath, steady concentration. Steady the breath to steady the mind. Keep breathing till I feel that light shine.
As we're still in this child's pose, seed shape,
Steady the breath to steady
tapping into this corn moon.
Keep breathing till I feel that light.
Each cob of corn has 13 rows of seeds. And for each of the 13 moons, each seed is a spirit waiting to begin its earth walk, right? These future generations for which we must prepare. And so this harvesting abundance isn't only about the abundance and the nourishment of the seeds, but it's keeping seeds to plant later for future generations. Reflection. For our final 3 breaths in this child's pose, we're going to take a smooth, deep inhale and really feel the expansiveness of that in-breath. Oxygen pulls in your body attaches to hydrogen, it makes H2O. And then as you exhale, we're going to sigh it out the mouth as if we were fogging up a mirror on our mat. Two more. Inhale. One more. Very gradually use your next in-breath to rise up toward all fours. Your feet and ankles might need some counter movement. Anything that you might need before we come onto our belly. Again, there's no rush, no hurry. In your own time, coming toward a Sphinx. Where we bring elbows under shoulders. You can let the gaze be forward. You can make a shelf for the chin or the forehead. And once you arrive in your Sphinx, steady your gaze toward the tip of your nose. And as we're in our Sphinx, let's let our pranayama really remain focused on the inhalation. Really being slow, mindful of landing. Each inhale takes us from scattered to centered. Maybe you could, even on your in-breaths, get a sense of your belly melting, descending toward the earth. A sense of your pubic bone and dropping into the earth. Maybe a scan through the low back and the gluteus muscles. Are any of them engaged? We're really working in yin yoga to disengage any of the muscular action. And as you keep focusing on that in-breath, feeling that descending of your belly to the earth as the belly fills with breath. But notice a simultaneous, right? A both and of as the belly fills with breath and melts to the earth, there's also an expansion back into your low ribs. The space of your kidney adrenal complex. And so you can stay here for our final minute, or you could go deeper in a couple of ways. The first would be to just bend the knees, pull the heels toward the body, and then ground down into the thighs. So it's not only the heels are pulling toward you, but there's this downward. My femur bones are pushing down into the earth. Or you can leave the legs down, bring the hands to the corners of the mat, and begin to lift the elbows. And so there's no right or wrong, only ways that you could explore this heart opening back bend in a way that feels really good for you, really safe for you. As we're adding some really healthy, juicy compression to our kidneys, all the ways that they support us. The water filters. And final 3 breaths, focusing on your inhales. And gradually release. Bring your hands together, gently rub them together, create a little bit of heat, a little friction. And then let the hands cover the eyes as the head rests in the hands. All that you have seen, all that you perceive, all the ways we prioritize and categorize. Letting them integrate, assimilate. Next out breath brings the forehead all the way down, hands stretch forward, palms spin up. Coming into full prostration. Let your third eye or the center of your brow find the ground, find the mat. Offering up all your work, all your efforts, all that you hold. All the stories. Some of them not even of this lifetime. And allow yourself to be held for just a little longer. As you're ready, gradually ease up toward all fours. Go ahead, take some spinal movement, right? Ooh, being in that Sphinx for quite a while, you might really feel like you need a little bit of counter movement for the spine. Let that be whatever feels good for you. Some cat-cow. You needed a frisky little down dog in your life. And then I'll give you two options here. You can choose the first, a little more grounding, right? So just come to your seat, bring your legs forward. I have to add a bend to my knees to do this in a yin style because of my tight hamstrings. And then you could take a bolster, a block, or you don't need anything, but we just let the spine round and we'll forward fold. You can add quite a bend to your knees if that's what helps you feel the most supported and stable. Option 2 would take the same idea, except for turning it into a dangling. So we just come to our feet, lift our hips, find opposite elbows, let the weight of the head drop. I think the biggest difference, if you're choosing the option that I'm in, right, is that it is really giving you an opportunity to take an inversion where we're just taking our brain, bringing it lower than our heart, lower than our pelvis. If you have been experiencing a lot of worry or anxiety or an abundance of energy in your mind, taking this dangling option, a really great way to empty your mind. Wherever you find yourself, close your eyes, steady your drishti at the tip of the nose. Now we're going to begin to transition our pranayama into our exhale. And so we should have a pretty solid, pretty full in-breath at this point. You can let that be more effortless. And then we're going to really be with our out-breath. And letting it empty all the way out. When you come to the end of that exhalation, notice if there's any stagnant breath that can be pressed out. Now beginning to move from our center to the grounding force, like tethering yourself to the ground, the earth. Always with a very workable edge. This particular full moon leading into this equinox gateway is the perfect time to sit in your feelings, washing away what needs to go. Leading with your heart and your intuition rather than your head. Final round of breath. If you like a sigh out the mouth. If you're on your feet, right, feel free to rise all the way up to stand slowly, letting your head come up last. Even if you're seated in your forward fold, we're going to rise up slowly. Let the head come last, as if you're stacking one vertebra at a time. As the head comes up, we'll lift the shoulders up to the ears too, and then let them roll back down and around. We'll take all 10 fingers and interlace them. Thumbs point up. So you can either do this from seated on your back or standing. And then we'll let the hands rest on the heart space here. As the hands rest on the heart space, feel again some both and actions here, where there is this lifting of the heart and a broadening across the heart. At the same time as your hands, Vajrapadama Mudra, have this sensation of moving in and down. And so this mudra is the thunderbolt. And there is a sense of immediacy to it. And it's very clear and direct and from the heart. When you're ready to release the mudra, blink open the eyes. Again, you could be standing, you could be seated. Just really being slow between our transitions. Coming next into our dragon series. So I'm going to take my right leg, step it forward. Right. If you have blocks, great. If you wanted to pad up your back leg at all, sometimes I like to do that. If this variation of dragon is just too much for you, too intense, too much to be there for 3 minutes, which is what we're going to be, then come onto your back. As you come onto your back, I would let both my knees, walk my feet as wide as the mat, let both my knees fall to the right. And then I gaze through my left chest and I notice I want to have my thigh right in line with my chest. And then we would just be here. If you wanted to go any deeper into this variation, the right foot could stack on top of that left knee. And so those are our two options. Supporting yourself as you need. Really mindful of what truly is a workable edge for you. Really giving you permission to only go like 60%. Knowing that we have the gift of time to take us deeper or not. And so as we're in this dragon series, let's take this first minute and still stay with our exhalation. So we're going to keep tethering ourselves to the grounding energy, that earth energy. Allowing this dragon series to be a laboratory where you really get to experiment with expanding your capacity for discomfort. And all the ways in which you need to reclaim your emotionality, your fluidity, your spirituality that connects you to all things. All the ways in which your spirit energy has been silenced or traumatized. If you want to go any deeper for the final minute, lower forearms, or you could twist. If you're on your back and you haven't gone deeper, that's when you could see if that right ankle would find the left thigh, knee area. Staying with that out breath, right? As your discomfort level rises, right, and you start to feel this swirling of energy that makes you want to escape, annihilate, back off, just keep tethering that to the grounding force, right? We're going to use that energy to circulate in a little. When you're ready to release, be slow. Counteract any tendency to speed out because of that discomfort, and then counter move between sides, whatever that might look like for you. If you're on your back, feel free, hug your knees into the chest, windshield wiper the knees. Switching sides, stepping left leg forward. If you had anything to bring under the hands, feel free. If you were open enough to go right to your forearms, feel free. If all of that is just too deep, then we're on our back with our feet as wide as the mat. Knees fall to the left. And as I gaze past my chest, I want to see my thigh in line with my chest. So that means I might need to widen out my right foot. And then you just are here. And the way you would deepen if you needed was to take the left foot and stacking it on top of the right thigh. And if you're feeling like you have created enough inner heat here and you're ready to move into the circulating pranayama, then we bring our inhales and our exhales even and equal. If you like the grounding prana, apana vayu, then stay with your out breath. There's no right or wrong. Just ways that we can use this power of breath to help us move through energy and experience. As you find balance in your body, balance in your breath, this circulating of energy might be coupled by an emotional release, right? You aren't really doing yoga until you've cried on your mat, especially not while under a full Pisces moon. And as you're here in your laboratory playing with this experimental, expanding your capacity for discomfort, I want you to consider, right, the ways in which this emotionality has been silenced or taken away, seen as weak. Because what tends to happen is that when we get into an emotional state, we begin to doubt our intuition. Right? It's like one of the unfortunate byproducts of a capitalistic society, right? Like we can't have emotions because they hinder our production. And so we're reclaiming our emotionality, our spirituality, and our intuition. And really being courageous in trusting our spirit. And being emotionally available for our own needs. If you want to go deeper, forearms is an option, or you can find your twist. Stay with your breath. And let it circulate. Let it churn. Very, very, very gradually, wherever you are, take your time. Moving in and out of your discomfort even, very intentionally. Taking some time to give your body what it needs as release. And then we'll come onto our backs. And so our final asana is going to be a twist. So I'll give you quite a few options. You can choose what your faves this evening. The first would be to simply hug the right knee into the chest, leaving the knee bent, bring it across the body toward the left. And you could take a pillow or a block and support it under that knee. The other option would be to bend both knees. Maybe hug them to the chest or not, but let them both fall to the left. Let those arms open up, shoulder height, let them outstretch. And we'll just be in this twist. As you settle into your twist, stay with your circulating pranayama. Inhales, exhales equal and even. So that we can really metabolize all that we hold, all that we're carrying. Circulating this ancestral wound washing. Wringing yourself out. And gradually unwinding, switching sides. So you could just let both knees fall to the right, or stretch your right leg long, hug your left knee into your chest, give it a good squeeze, bring it across the body to the right. Opening up our arms, really big in our body. Really grounded, supported, held by yourself, the way you showed up for yourself in this space, and by the community. Showing up for yourself and the community. As you're ready to slowly and gradually unwind, taking any final counter movements before we move into our final relaxation, into our Shavasana. Okay. And so as you begin to settle into your own stillness, that might be for you a traditional Shavasana, legs long, palms spun up. You might want to end, like let the practice be a cycle. And so you might want to end as we began in our triple diamond mudra, back into that mudra that embodies, right, the element of water as well. Or you could also use any supports you have to just get yourself really comfortable, really supported, really nourished. As you make your way to your final space, allow yourself several exhalations, right, where we are just releasing stagnation, releasing tension. Right? Any residual stagnation that can be released through that exhalation, let it let go. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to just become an observer. Let your body begin to breathe really innately, that own unique breath pattern that you have. As you simply observe this like wondrous being that you get to live in and embody. And then begin to scan your body for any nuance of sensation. Any tingle or flutter or pulsation or warmth. All the places in your vessel that are communicating to you. And then begin to invite that sensation to spread throughout your whole body. Through every cell, every molecule, every atom. Until you begin to feel you are just this being of radiant sensation. Your atoms merging with my atoms and this community's atoms. Tap into that sensation. I call in the deepest forms of intimacy. I bask in my radiant sensuality. I call in all the money to bring in all that I desire. I bask in my passions. I revel in my fire. I call in all my magic, swirling around this space. I bask in all the luxury. I give myself such grace. I allow in all the wonder. Money pours down on me like a shower. I step into the most liberated world by fully stepping into my power. And so you can sit with it a little bit longer. If that's what is best. And if you have pen and paper, you're ready to awaken and purge. What needs to go? What is illumined by the light of this full moon? And what needs to be washed away? What are you inviting into this collective fire to transform? And so I am going to light a collective fire that we are going to transform fear, inviting forgiveness for myself and others. If anybody feels called to share, feel free. I'm inviting, right, so that we can all levitate and fly high. As a community, bringing connection and love and our resources together to ignite this renaissance that we are in, guided by emotionality and spirituality. And if this practice and this moon has you all up in your feels, you're right where you need to be. And so really let this practice, let this ceremony take you into the next couple of days until on Wednesday we peak and there's this day of, in the natural world, balance, total balance. As we step into this portal of the fall season and the darkness returns, and time to really move into the shadow world, supported. I'm just holding the space a little longer. All that we're conjuring, pouring our resources into this collective cup. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our palms together, merging left and right, masculine and feminine, dark and light, and letting the thumbs come to the heart. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out the mouth. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings be free from suffering. And may our work contribute to the happiness of all. Om, om, om. Thank you all for being here. If you are in search of a deep, deep community connection, Saturday, October 16th at 5 Lakes Resort, we will be there and there will be magic happening. I'll send that out in an email later this week with more information. If you want to go through a 7-week quest through these layers of yourself, that begins next week. The yoga practices are on Wednesdays, either at 10 in the morning or 7 at night. The webinars are on Mondays. Again, either a daytime slot or a 7 p.m. slot. And the only other thing I want to add to that is that been doing a lot of just like visioning about money in general. And so if you in any way feel called to take this 7-week program, but you're not sure about it because of financial reasons, I really don't want that to be a reason that you don't take it. Actually, that means it's even more perfect for you. And so we can find another way to exchange energy that doesn't have to be in the form of money, right? So I'm just going to plant that seed. And thank you so much for being here and being teachers for each other and just showing up for the community. So much.